New tonight, Fox 10 has confirmed the Office of Idaho's Attorney General is taking over the case connected to the mother of two missing kids with Arizona connections. Lori Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell, will be investigated for conspiracy and attempted murder. Fox 10's Justin Lum has been covering this story since day one. He joins us with this new information tonight. Justin.
Carrie, at the center of this case is Chad Daybell's first wife, Tammy, who died on October 19th. Her body was exhumed on December 11th. We are still waiting for her autopsy and toxicology reports. But my source confirms the Idaho Attorney General is now taking over this case due to having more resources, but it does not necessarily mean charges will be filed.
The reality is here now for those two.
The grandparents of 7-year-old JJ Vallow, the boy who's been missing since September, along with his 17-year-old sister, Tylee Ryan, are hopeful investigators are combing through any case connected to the children's mother, Lori Vallow. One confirmed link being looked into is the death of Tammy Daybell, the first wife of Lori's husband, Chad.
The case is moving forward and it's not stagnant. I never thought it was, but I know there are numerous people working on it daily.
Letter obtained by East Idaho News from the Office of Idaho's Attorney General to the Fremont County prosecutor says the AG will assume full responsibility for the case of Tammy Daybell's death. The request for help was made Tuesday and accepted Thursday. Chad and Lori got married a little more than 2 weeks after Tammy's death, then determined to be of natural cause. The death of Lori's former husband, Charles Vallow, is being investigated by Chandler police, who say Lori's brother shot and killed him in self-defense last July. Kay Woodcock says her brother Charles knew about his wife's relationship with Doomsday author Chad Daybell since last January.
Charles showed me several things that from his email that indicated that they were having an affair.
Meanwhile, Lori Vallow is in Madison County Jail on 2 counts of felony child abandonment. A hearing is set for April 17th as her attorney tries to reduce her $1 million bail amount.
I hope that it's left alone. The judge sees through this and does not reduce her bail. I think this is exactly the time not to be reducing bail.
We did reach out to the Attorney General spokesperson for more comment. We have not gotten response yet. A family member of Tammy Daybell, who wants to remain anonymous, tells me the AG taking over this case is great news and hopes for resolution. Reporting live, Justin Lum, Fox 10 News.
That both Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Daybell are suspected of killing Chad's wife Tammy in October of last year. This letter from the Idaho State Attorney General's office lists Chad and Lori as defendants against possible charges of conspiracy, attempted murder, and murder. The letter is in agreement that the state is taking over the prosecution in the Tammy Daybell case. Chad was previously married to Tammy, a healthy 49-year-old mother of 5. She died in her sleep in October of last year. 10 days before her untimely death, Tammy reported that a stranger wearing a mask came up to her trying to fire a gun.
And the gun didn't go off, and she thought it was a paintball gun. She didn't know her guns, obviously. Okay, so then 10 days later, she's dead.
At the time, there was no autopsy performed on Tammy's remains.
The family did not want an autopsy, so they just went straight to the funeral home, and the family refused.
This is a recorded phone conversation obtained by Fox 13 in Salt Lake between an Idaho dispatcher and a detective from Arizona investigating the death of Charles Vallow.
The family said they don't want an autopsy, therefore the coroner just signed off then and there. And then the funeral home took Ms. Daybell. Is that how that works?
Yes, that's pretty much how it works.
That decision by the Daybells to refuse an autopsy could have been overruled by authorities, but it wasn't. 2 months after her death, Tammy's remains were exhumed and examined and tested. Results have not been released. Adding to the suspicion surrounding Tammy's death, Less than 3 weeks after Tammy died, Chad and Lori were married, and Lori's wedding ring was purchased by Lori on Amazon 17 days before Tammy was dead. Lori Vallow Daybell remains jailed in Rexburg, Idaho, facing charges of child abandonment. Her children, Tylee, 17, and JJ, just 7, have not been seen since September of last year. Lori is also the focus of an investigation in Arizona into the death of her ex-husband, Charles. Chad Daybell has not been charged, but that could change, and this letter would suggest the crime alleged is the murder of his wife.
Wow. You know, and we are live. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this information that has come out that the Attorney General is now looking into Chad Daybell's wife's murder. The fact that they didn't do an autopsy, the fact that she died unexpectedly in her sleep, healthy, no major issues, nothing that would stand out to say that she was going to go on her own. And then the fact that he and Miss Lori got wedding rings prior to her death. This dude. The fact that he went through and did this whole setup with this lady. They set up to get married. They married shortly after his wife died. They married shortly after her husband died, which is crazy when you think about it. Now, her brother was charged with the murder of her husband, and then he was killed. And we have 2 missing kids. Hey, if you're going to join a cult, they said the end of the world was coming in June. I got to tell you, Lori and Chad may be right with this COVID-19 thing. So, no, they are definitely a setup here to run off into the wild blue yonder, never to be bothered. They would have never been bothered had it not been for the internet. Very few people even were looking into them as far as the mainstream media is concerned. And they're sitting on the Hawaiian coast getting bothered by sleuthers, dads with phones, moms with phones, and then the mainstream media picks it up because social media picked it up. And the fact that and the same thing with Chad Daybell's wife. They started looking into her death after this whole thing when they could have been looking at it the whole time. It's just a crazy, crazy story. We are glad they arrested her. They've only arrested her on not producing her children. So here's the deal. For a while, I thought maybe they got the children locked away in some cult and they're trying to keep them, they're looking for a lawsuit. They're after some money, get false arrested, get accused of something, let the media and the people come after you. But now, as you start to we've looked at this case before. We've watched her court appearances. We've listened to the body cam footage from a couple of weeks before when her husband said, listen, my wife is crazy. Y'all need to have a psych eval done on it. This is all coming to fruition. So it's interesting to see how cold is it in Woodland Park. It's not too bad in Woodland Park. We got some snow on the ground, and it's been cold. Over the past few days. One of my little shrimps just looked in the window as y'all were talking. It's been cold over the last couple of days, but I was fishing 4 days ago. You threw me off. I just looked. One of my shrimps looked in the window right as I was looking outside. There's a ton of layers to this case. One, you start with Lori's husband, who was killed. Probably her first husband that was killed. Then I think there's two husbands and a brother. And then there's a wife and two kids missing. There's a lot of people dead around this little blonde chick for sure. Somebody said they're the true definition of a psychopath. This is a true definition of a real cult. Like, these people actually believe some craziness. I doubt we're going to see any truth come out. So she's trying to get out right now. And the thing is there's a couple of things that have happened. One, law enforcement recorded a conversation between Lori Vallow and her attorney. Now, they found out about that conversation and they said they've deleted the conversation. It never made it out to the public, but the lawyer is going to use this to say, listen, she's not being held on murder charges. She's being held on, she's not being held on murder charges, which is pretty much the only reason why they could hold her without bond. They have her bond set at $1 million, which is unprecedented in really the circumstances in which she's being held in the jail for, in a sense that, boom, if they give her a bond, she's asking for a $10,000 bond to be dropped. She's at $1 million bond. If she gets her $10,000 bond, she's out. She ain't coming back. She ain't going to be around. She's going to vanish off into the wild blue yonder. We'll never see her again. And, well, it'll be over with. She's using the stuff that's happened over the past few days where they've messed with her case. They recorded her conversation with the lawyer. She's using these delays and these postponements to say, listen, let me out on bond and I'll have a better chance of that. She fired her one lawyer. She's brought in some other lawyers. So she's back and forth on some things, trying to figure out a way just to get out of jail. If she can just get out for a second, she's going to skip on out of there. So I doubt they're going to let her off. I doubt they're going to reduce her bond, but if they do, she's out. Pointing at my kids. Did y'all see that dad point? Bam, get out. Get out. I'm trying to pull up. I want to pull up the paperwork and see if I can get, if there's a link, if I can find a link. April 9th, a letter from the Idaho Attorney General's office to the Fremont County Prosecutor's office in Idaho, in which the AG's office agrees to assist local prosecutors in their investigation of those possible crimes. Meanwhile, Lori's children, 7-year-old Joshua J.J. Vallow and 17-year-old Tylee Ryan, who disappeared amidst a trail of death before and after Lori and Chad's November marriage, remain missing. So the divorce filings from a prior marriage alleged Lori had developed a recent infatuation about near-death experiences and spiritual vision, and that she claimed to be a God assigned to carry out the work of the 144,000 at Christ's second coming, July 2020. Hey, how many of y'all think Christ is coming back July 2020? Now, if you're looking at all the events going around the world right now, the virus, the locusts, the blood rivers, could be something to it. I'm just saying, you might want to join. You might want to join with Lori. I'm not going to. Gosh, I can't. So these are the kids that are missing. It's terrible that she just wouldn't bring the kids up, that she just wouldn't have the kids come, if she knew where they were at, if she had some sort of idea, if this was some sort of publicity stunt for their little 144 cult thing, if something, you would think she would bring the children forward. If in fact these people are as sick as people have to be to do the things that they've done. Listen, I think she's probably responsible or in conjunction responsible for the death of Chad Daybell's wife. I'm pretty sure she probably talked her brother into killing her husband. I'm pretty sure they probably killed her brother to cover up the killing. And he probably didn't want to go to jail. Well, he got off, I think. He got off on that murder, but they killed him. There's so many dead people around this woman and missing kids. So someone says they think that she has them hidden because they know she thinks she'll lose custody. But the thing is, if she just has them hidden, I don't think she'll lose custody. I think if she had them hidden, she could just point back at the courts and be like, listen, we knew where our kids were all along. We knew where they were all along. And you guys have come in, you've taken away our freedoms, you put me in jail. You made assumptions about things that aren't true. They could come forward. But the thing is now, she's spent enough time in jail. They've denied the reduction of her bond a few times already. And I don't think they're going to just come forward with the kids now and just be like, all right, here are the kids. This is it. This is what we got. But who knows? They could be playing this long game till July. They may be thinking the end of the world is July and they're playing the long game. There's an interview where the daughter and Lori are having they get interviewed right before this whole thing happens, a few days or maybe a month before all this goes down. I don't even think it was that long, but they go to the police station and there's body cam footage. You can find it. We watched it on one of the Dad with the Phone videos, but there's body cam footage of her daughter, 17, and mom getting interviewed by the cop. It's real weird. They're like flirting with the cop. The daughter's flirting. I think the cop's flirting with the daughter. It's a real weird interview. And the cop is already admittedly like, I've only been working a week. This is like my first day, first interrogation. You're my first questioning, And so it's a weird situation. But then all of a sudden, the husband ends up dead. The brother ends up being accused of it. Then he ends up dead. 2 weeks before Chad's wife dies, she's out buying wedding rings. Then Chad's wife dies in the middle of the night, asleep. They refuse an autopsy. So they refuse the autopsy. And now they exhume the body, and they actually exhume the body after the fact. Like, since they've exhumed the body, they've now run some sort of autopsy. They've run some sort of medical examiner has gone over the body or the remains of the body, and maybe they'll be able to find something. But because the body was processed and buried and there's going to be some things that were lost. There are going to be some things that aren't found because of that. The body's been cleaned and washed and all of that. And so depending on what they're looking for, and They may or may not find anything. And you heard the media say that just because they're looking into this doesn't mean they're going to charge anyone. Doesn't mean they're going to bring forth charges. They're just looking into it. Yeah, the husband. No, the video I was talking about was the one before her husband was killed. Her husband was trying to turn her in. That's the one I was talking about. I don't know about the one right afterwards. Well, toxic. They probably drained her of her blood. First of all, you know, you don't know. They don't normally put someone in the ground. I'm sure they embalmed her. I'm sure they embalmed her. So I'm sure they drained her of her blood. They may be able to pull hair toxicology, but I don't think that they will. I don't think they'll be able to do like a full blood analysis. They may be able to. It's weird pulling the body afterwards. Not all religions embalm. Yeah, I'm not sure what the 144 believe. I'm not sure if they're in the yeah, I guess if they don't pull the organs, I always felt like they pulled the organs, they pulled the shell of a body, you know, it was just the shell. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they put her in the grave and just let her go naturally and there's no embalming. They could have yeah, they're the majority of fingernail and stuff they could pull, DNA they could pull for sure. Yeah. The question that I have is when I heard the video or when I watched the body cam footage of Ty and her mom at the police station, I felt like the daughter and the mom were best friends. And I felt like for a second, like if you wanted to pull something crazy and you had your daughter take your son and you stuck them with one of these cults and you know they very easily could be kept from doing anything, you know, living just a real simple life, not looking at television or internet or any of that. Could they be on a cult property? The parents know where they're at, aren't saying anything because of this is some sort of religious play. I don't know if anybody else believes that, but on the flip side, it's not above them to kill people. They've already killed at least 3 people. Two, you know, the spouses and the brother had something to do with that stuff. And so the idea that the kids are alive is hard to fathom. We hope that they're alive. We hope that somehow, you know, they're not a part of this in a sense other than they're just doing what mom and dad said. They're captive on some cult. They were taken by some cult and they're sitting on some weird farm somewhere. Yeah, he was her 3rd husband. I think she had at least one other husband that had died. I can pull up all the people surrounded it. There's a little flow chart. Let me see here. There's a 911 audio. So, now this is the 911 audio of her brother around her brother's death. Let me see if we can play this. I don't know what video this is on. Who's okay, this is it. The following okay, so this is 911 audio of Lori Vallow's brother's sudden death. So this is the 911 audio of the brother's death. Let's see. I don't know that I've listened to this.
Where's your emergency?
Hi, I need an ambulance to. Yes.
Why do you need an ambulance?
I have a older male, a middle-aged male. Um,
He is breathing?
Yes, he's breathing, but very, very highly breathing.
Okay, let me transfer you or the medics. Do not hang up.
Okay.
Is this due to a
Fire
drug
and medical, what is the address of your emergency?
Go over with it.
Caller, are you on the line? Hello, is
Hello?
anyone there?
Yes, this is. I'm here.
Okay, you're for.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, what is the emergency?
I have a older male here named Alex. He just passed out here on my bathroom.
Okay, is he awake right now?
I think he's passed out.
Okay, you think he's unconscious?
Yes.
Okay, is he breathing normally, like you can see his chest rising and falling? Hello?
I hope so.
I have the paramedics on the way, but I need you to try to help me with some information while they're driving there to help him. Okay?
Okay.
How old is he?
He seems to be in his 40s.
Okay. Do you know him?
No, it's my mother's boyfriend.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay. I have the paramedics on the way, so he's in the restroom right now.
Okay.
Gilbert, can we get you started?
I'm already en route.
All right, thank you. Okay, is he on his back or on his stomach? Where is he at?
He's on his side.
Okay. Can you lay him flat on his back on the ground?
I'll try. It's just there's feces there, and I'm trying to just keep cool right now.
You said he's what?
There's feces on the ground.
Okay. I know that's gross, but if we can just go ahead and get him flat on his back, I want to make sure he's breathing, because if he's not, we're going to do a few things.
Gotcha.
Did you say he's cool, like cold?
Alex. Alex. Alex, we gotta get you on your back.
Does he seem more awake or more asleep?
He's more passed out.
Okay. Is he opening his eyes or moving at all?
He's breathing.
Okay. Is he breathing normally, like his chest is rising and falling? He's not making any weird sounds?
Yeah, he's making a very exhale sound like.
Okay. If he's doing that, we need to start CPR, so I need you to get him flat on his back on the ground.
Okay. I'll do that.
Let me know when he's flat on his back, and we're going to give you instructions, okay?
Okay.
What is your first name?
I don't think I could do that, man.
I know this is difficult, but you're only helping him, okay? I know, the paramedics.
I don't think I could
What
do
is
that.
your
I have
name?
anxiety and depression.
Okay, what's your name?
Anxiety and depression. I can't.
What is your name?
My name's Joseph.
Joseph? Okay, Joseph. The best thing for us to do for him right now is to so if you'll just take I know it's not ideal, but you're doing a really good job by helping him if you can do that, okay?
Oh. Yo, Alex. Alex. He's not breathing. No. No, he's too big.
Okay, just try to get him on his back so we can do chest
My
compression.
mother just got here.
Okay, give her the phone then.
So, did she say the mother just got there?
Yeah.
Come here. Come here.
And we're coming on Mineral right now.
Really
We're
bad.
almost there.
It's really bad. Come upstairs in the bathroom. We need to get him on his back.
Can you put your mom on the phone?
She's right here. You're on speaker.
Okay, ma'am, the paramedics are pulling up, but in the meantime, we need him to get flat on his back, and we need to give him chest compressions, okay?
Chest compression. Wait. But
Does she know how to do CPR?
yes. She knows how.
Okay.
How far are you?
We're pulling up out front right now, so they're grabbing their equipment and they're coming in. Are you on the
Okay.
first floor or the second?
We're on the second floor.
Second floor in the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, and the door is unlocked?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, do you see the paramedics now?
Yes.
Okay, Joseph, you did a good job. I know that was really scary, but thank you for your help, okay?
Joseph,
Okay,
before
thank
you
you.
hang up, Joseph, before you hang up, I need your last name.
Okay.
Joseph, let the paramedics do their business and tell me what your last name is.
Lopez.
Joseph, what's your last name?
Lopez.
Okay. And what's your date of birth, Joseph? Alex's last name.
I don't know.
You don't know his name?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you let the officer in?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm going to let you go. Bye-bye.
December 12th, 2019, 15 hours, 27 minutes, 27 seconds.
So that was a call on December 12th to 911. That was during the 911 call. Presumably, Alex is Lori Vallow's brother. Alex is also the one I believe that they said was responsible for Lori Vallow's husband's death. And so it sounds like he was having issues breathing, some sort of, respiratory thing. So I'm not 100% the cause. They said the cause of death was undetermined, and I'm not sure if they did autopsies and stuff on that. But it's still, nevertheless, it's a suspicious death around Lori Vallow, who is surrounded. She's surrounded in suspicious deaths. And so the kind of the information we've kind of gone over here was that they've reopened the case into Chad Daybell's wife's death. Because it wasn't ruled suspicious, it wasn't ruled a murder, they didn't do an autopsy, any of that. They reopened that case, and now the Attorney General is looking into Chad Daybell and maybe Lori Vallow, responsible for Chad's wife's death. What we just listened to was a 911 call around Lori Vallow's brother, who again was it was all this is all surrounding Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. Just want to see something. So there's a case of 3 deaths and 2 missing children, which would be Lori Vallow's husband. And then, so they also lambasted Lori Vallow, a 46-year-old Rexbury resident and an adopted mother of Joshua and biological mother of Tylee, for allegedly running off with her husband, Chad Daybell, in the wake of it all. She, let's see here. So Kay Woodcock, Charles Vallow's sister, told the Associated Press that her brother was highly concerned about his wife. It all culminated into the cult that she's in, Woodcock said, apparently to reference Preparing a People, an organization that preaches about preparing citizens of this earth for the second coming of Jesus Christ. That's where she met Daybell. So multiple deaths before her children. Lori Vallow's brother, Alex Cox, shot and killed her husband, Chandler, Arizona's home on July 11, 2019. Vallow went to his wife's home around 8:30 a.m. the day of the two, got into an argument, according to the statement from Chandler police. It was not immediately clear how long Vallows had not been living together. Cox allegedly intervened in an attempt to de-escalate the situation, but he and Vallow then got into a physical altercation. Vallow struck Cox in the head with a baseball bat. Then Cox shot Vallow twice in the chest, according to police. Vallow was pronounced dead on the scene. No charges were filed against Cox. Detective Seth Tyler of the Chandler Police Department told ABC News on that the case is being looked at as a self-defense. It remains open in an effort to help with the missing children's investigation. About 6 months after the shooting on December 11th, that's the call we just listened to, 2019, Cox was found unresponsive in his Gilbert, Arizona home and was later pronounced dead, according to the public information officer for the Gilbert police. They were awaiting the autopsy report to determine the cause. It's too early to say foul play. She expects the autopsy to be taken another 2.5 months. In between Vallow and Cox's death, Chad Daybell's wife also died under circumstances that are now believed to be suspicious. Tammy Daybell's death on October 19th, 2019 was initially thought to be natural. However, her remains were exhumed in late December, and authorities were looking into whether or not she was poisoned, police said. We don't have that information, though. Man, this whole case is jacked. This woman is up to something. So the update is that they are re-looking into that, which is not 2 or 3 days ago that came out. There's still, they don't know. I guess we don't know the autopsy report, results on Alex Cox. We don't know the autopsy reports on that, but they're not looking into it, but it sounded like it could have been poison. I don't know how healthy he was. I do know they say Tammy Daybell was healthy. So maybe they'll be able to find some poison in her stream somewhere. I would have thought that they would have drained her body of the blood. Maybe they'll find it in the hair and some sort of toxicology report they can do and it go from there. So hey, thanks for watching Dad with a Phone. We're going to be kicking it up a gear, probably doing a couple of live videos a day, if not more. And we've got some other special stuff coming. I got a live art show that I'm going to be helping broadcast podcast. We've got some other cool quarantine content coming. I've got some phone calls I want to share with you, but I'm going to wait for a little bit later in the evening to do that. You can find me at all the links below. You can throw money in my bucket at that PayPal link at the bottom of the screen. Other than that, y'all have fun. Stay safe. Stay inside. Wash your hands. Don't get caught by the virus. And we're out.